Mr.
questions
Adderley,
about
Mr. Adderley, I do have a question for you. This is Jimmy, by the way. I have a question because I know that you played for both Vince Lombardi and Tom Landry. You're one of the first guys to do that. And I've heard you sometimes give a lot of high praise for Vince Lombardi, and not only you, but a lot of your teammates. They give Lombardi the top praise. But what were the differences between the two legendary coaches, between Landry and Vince Lombardi?
Well, it's like the weather in Hawaii and the weather in Dallas right now. And, and it's different like night and day. It were two different men, obviously, and had two different philosophies. Two different ways to treat people. Lombardi was well respected by all of his players because he treated us all the same. He recognized his greatest asset was recognizing individual differences in people. In other words, he didn't treat everybody the same. He didn't treat all the black players the same or all the white guys the same. He took time to sit down with us and talk and find out, different things about us, and he treated us as such. He was a humanitarian, psychologist, psychiatrist, teacher, coach, fatherly, anything we needed. He was right there for us to help us, and his level for racism, discrimination was zero. He wouldn't tolerate it because he felt as though he was discriminated against himself because he was an Italian and he couldn't get a head coaching job in the NFL because of that. At that time they were all Jewish owners and they wanted, Jewish coaches, to coach in the NFL. So Lombardi ended up in Green Bay because Green Bay was the worst team in the NFL at the time. I think they were like 1-12 or whatever it was. They only won one game the year before he went there.
Wow, he turned it around.
They said, okay, we'll send him to Siberia. That's what they called Green Bay at the time. So they sent Lombardi up there, and a lot of the great players that I mentioned were already there in Green Bay, but they only had one black player, a guy by the name Borden. There was only one black player in Green Bay at that time. And most of those guys were there, but they were playing out of position or they wasn't being motivated enough, to play up to their full potential. And we had, the freedom on the field to make adjustments or to make changes. We could talk to Lombardi on the sideline and about different things. And in Dallas, when I was traded there, the first thing I noticed was the cliques that was going on, and a lot of racism was going on, not only on the team but in the city also, because the black players couldn't live, any place they wanted to. They had to, live in South Dallas or Eau Claire, somewhere a long ways from where the practice facilities were. And, a lot of that was going on. And then amongst the players, there was, a lot of racism, right on the team there. And it was unbelievable for me because I was in my 10th year. And, 5 championships, 2 Super Bowls, and we had beaten Dallas, which was our arch rival, beaten them twice to get to Super Bowl I and Super Bowl II. And we just, it was kind of like a hate that the Cowboys had for us and also we had for them. So it was a very unusual, situation for me and a shock, a culture shock for me to end up in Dallas,
Right.
It was 13 below zero in Green Bay and 105 in the shade in Dallas. That's a big difference.
It's the war room.